everyone, it's Annabelle. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're going to be doing a spotlight on an orchid that I absolutely love and may be one of my favourite Cattleya types in my collection, and this is the Rhynchobrasilea Chief Cindy. This is a hybrid between Brassavola nodosa and RLC Siku Orpheus, which is actually quite a complex Cattleya hybrid. So the primary species in the parentage of this particular hybrid are Brassavola nodosa and Cattleya walkeriana, followed by Cattleya mossiae. I'll link the Orchid Roots profile for this down in the description and you guys can check it out, but it's got quite a lot of species in very small amounts in its parentage. Towards the end of this video I'll also be making a very brief life update just to keep you guys in the loop with what's happening at the moment, because in the future videos might be a little bit delayed, so I just wanted to let you guys know why that is, and also some exciting news to come. So if you're interested in that, then stick around to the end of the video for that. But with that said, let's get on with the main star of the show here, which is the beautiful Chief Cindy. One of the reasons that this is probably among one of my favourite Cattleya types is the amazing, incredible fragrance, which is probably mainly contributed by the combination of Brassavola nodosa with Cattleya walkeriana. It's a very strong, light, sweet fragrance, if that makes sense. Strong in that it'll fill the room, but light and sweet and perfumey, and I would wear it as a perfume. It's not overpowering, it's just beautiful and sweet, and I love it. I love sweet fragrances anyway, and this is probably my favourite orchid fragrance ever. It's just absolutely stunning. Now, it's fragrant during the day and at night. And I'd say what happens is the fragrance is kind of present in the morning and then it gets stronger throughout the day, and it's probably peaks in the evening, and that's probably due to the Brassavola nodosa influence in its parentage, which is more night fragrant. But it's just beautiful. Nodosa hybrids tend to inherit this kind of spotting, I believe, and this carries through to the Chief Cindy, and it's just a beautiful orchid, very light pastel pink colour with those striking lip dots, and a very compact growing plant, which is probably again influenced by the nodosa, and the walkeriana is quite a small plant too. So this grows in quite a compact fashion, and it grows very well for me in semi-hydroponic setup. It's in the same setup as all my other Cattleyas, which is a semi-hydroponic or self-watering setup with leca. And something I love about Cattleya types in general is that they don't tend to struggle with the dry top layer as much, and this orchid is no exception. It just seems to get its roots down into the leca very easily. Some species Cattleyas can be a little bit more fussy, but this hybrid is just so easygoing. It's got very compact growing nature, as I mentioned, and it's quite small Cattleya, so you can fit it on your shelf easily, but it produces these huge blooms, and these blooms last a long time. So I'd say about 3 to 4 weeks, which is quite a long-lasting bloom for a Cattleya type. I find that really interesting, and this is one of the reasons again why it's one of my favourite orchids, because the fragrance, the beautiful blooms, and the fact that they last for so long. They do fade as they get towards the end of their life, so they start off a nice sort of pale pastel-y pink colour, and then they gradually fade to a more kind of whitish colour with a hint of pink, but that lip colour does stay true, so you end up with a kind of more pale pink version of this, but with still the very striking fuchsia lip spotting, which is beautiful. And I love the little splash of yellow that it has in the lip. I think that's really interesting and pretty, and I just love any pink spots on a Cattleya. I think they're beautiful. So I mentioned this being one of my favourite Cattleya types, and obviously the fragrance and the flower is one of the reasons. Another of the reasons is that it blooms consistently and blooms very frequently. So it'll bloom on every new growth it matures. It typically has 3 to 4 flowers per bloom spike for me, and it matures growths very, very quickly. So for me, this blooms 3 to 4 times a year, which I absolutely is really great for a Cattleya type that's a bit closer to species, because sometimes the species Cattleyas, you will only get 1 blooming a year, which is the beauty of the complex hybrids, where you'll get 3 to 4 bloomings a year, just on every new growth. And this combines the best of both worlds, in my opinion, which is why I wanted to do a spotlight video on it. It's just a beautiful orchid, and just, you know, some orchids just make you happy. They just bring you so much joy, and this is just one of those easy-going orchids that just brings me a lot of joy, because fragrance is a big thing for me with orchids. As well as that, I wouldn't want a very fragrant orchid that looked horrible, if you know what I mean. This has a very attractive growth pattern, it's very attractive foliage, and a beautiful, beautiful flower. So it's kind of got the best of all worlds in my opinion. So I wanted to get that out there a bit, and I think this is a great hybrid, and definitely if you see it I would get it. There is a variety called Perfume. This one isn't that variety, and I wonder if the Perfume variety has an even better fragrance. That would be interesting to compare. If I ever see it, I might grab it one day and see the differences between the different varieties. This is just a seedling population as far as I'm aware. It doesn't have a named variety on it, so it's just the Chief Cindy, a seedling population. But the Perfume name may be that it's a meristem clone of a very fragrant variety. I'm not sure. Let me know if you have the Chief Cindy, what you think of the fragrance, because fragrance is such a personal thing, and this has to be in my top 5 fragrances for orchids. If you could bottle this fragrance, I would wear it. It's absolutely beautiful, and the blooms themselves are actually almost as big as the orchid. It's not a miniature orchid by any means, but it just has very large, long-lasting, fragrant blooms that are very beautiful. So I hope you enjoyed this video and this little spotlight on this compact growing, beautiful Cattleya type. And I did just want to make a quick announcement towards the end of this video. So over the next month I'm going to be moving house. So we are moving into a different property that has a conservatory that I can modify into the orchid room. So there's going to be a huge transition. Obviously I currently grow all under pretty much artificial lights. There's very little natural light in my spare bedroom. It's just a tiny window, and I can obviously very tightly control the temperatures. I'm not going to get that so much, so I'm going to have to adapt a little bit, and I'm going to be growing pretty much under natural light, which I'll supplement a little bit, especially in winter, with my grow lights. But I'm going to have to figure that out. And what I was going to do was I was going to do like a vlog type format of me moving the orchids and setting them up in the new environment. I'm excited and kind of scared as well. It's like a lot of work to do, and so videos may become a little bit thin on the ground. Just bear with me. I will try and keep uploading little bits, and obviously I would like to document the moving process, because I think that maybe that would be something interesting to film, and to film the setups, setup changes, how I'm going to arrange the new grow room, because obviously I'm going to have to pretty much reverse what I'm doing at the moment and have highlight orchids on top shelves and low light orchids below. So I'm going to have to figure that all out, and I hope that you guys will stick with me through the process and enjoy kind of watching the transition. And it's going to be kind of a big change, and I'm going to have to probably adapt how I grow to some extent, but I think it should be a change for the positive, hopefully. So thanks so much for watching today, and stay tuned for that, and let me know if you're interested in seeing like a moving type vlog of me packing up the orchids and setting them up. Thanks so much for watching again today, and if you did enjoy this video today, then don't forget to give it a like or subscribe to my channel for more regular orchid updates. It really helps me out if you do give it a thumbs up, or let me know what you think down in the comments. I'll see you guys all later. Bye!